This week on ATV News, American University students are starting to prepare for the midterm elections. The Kennedy Political Union has two exciting announcements, and we give some insider tips on stress management during exam season. I'm Shekinah Collier.
And I'm Alexander Sherritt. ATV News starts now.
Students have reported incidents of indecent exposure to American University Police Department. These incidents occurred off campus between September 24th and October 2nd in areas near Massachusetts Avenue and Klingle Place, Northwest. The Metropolitan Police Department is working with AUPD to investigate the situation. If you see anything, call 911, AUPD, or send a confidential tip through the University Police website.
A transformer fire behind Hughes Hall forced all AU community members to evacuate the morning of Saturday, September 29th. No one was injured and all students were allowed back into their residence halls by the end of the day. 5 large generators are currently bringing power to campus, and AU estimates that the transformer repairs will take weeks to complete. A DC water main break further interfered with university life Sunday, resulting in little or no water pressure. Let's turn to Margot Wright with our World News Report.
Thanks, Alexandra. I'm Margot Wright with your World News Report. On Wednesday, the International Court of Justice ordered the U.S. to ease sanctions against Iran. They mandated that the U.S. sanctions need to allow exemptions for exports of humanitarian goods and civil aviation supplies. The U.S. rejected this ruling, saying that those protections were already in place. National Security Advisor John Bolton announced that the U.S. would abandon a 63-year-old amity treaty with Iran. On Thursday, the United Nations imposed sanctions against a Turkish company and 2 of its officers for doing business with North Korea. The Treasury Department is accusing SIA Falcon International Group of trading weapons and luxury goods with North Korea, which breaks sanctions imposed by the United States and United Nations. The Latvian Embassy will hold an event including dinner, live music, and art Thursday, October 11 at 7 p.m. The ambassador will give a speech and mingle with the attendees. Tickets cost $50. With this week's World News Report, I'm Margot Wright.
Thanks, Margot. Alexandra, have you ever been to any of the embassies?
I actually have not.
Really, we should definitely go to one. They have events all the time.
I'm so down. Let's go.
Yeah. Now let's hear from Abby Kleeman with our business report.
Thanks, Shekinah. I'm Abby Kleeman with your business report. Kogod Women in Business is partnering with the Digital Strategy and Innovation Club to host a discussion panel on Thursday, October 11th from 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. in room 221 in the Don Myers Technology and Innovation Building. The panel will include business experts who work for consulting firms and creative marketing agencies. Are you interested in networking with business leaders and building your resume? Kogod Business School invites all American University students to register for this year's annual case competition, where students compete to solve everyday business dilemmas. You must register as a free agent by October 19th or as a team of 3 to 5 people by October 25th. This is an incredible opportunity to expand your knowledge of business outside of the classroom, so sign up today. With this week's business report, I'm Abby Kleeman.
Thanks, Abby. There are so many great business opportunities on campus.
Yeah, and networking is so important for college students.
Very true.
Let's see what Gabby Dell has to say about politics this week.
Thanks, Shekinah. I'm Gabby Dell with your Politics Report. On September 24th, President Sylvia Burwell announced the launch of the Sine Institute of Policy and Politics. The institute will bring political experts and top scholars to collaborate with students on research that promotes bipartisan policies. The Sine Institute will be establishing a fellowship program starting this spring. With the midterm elections coming up next month, American University student government and Eagles-elect spent National Voter Registration Day in the Bender Library, signing up students to receive absentee ballots. Because many of AU students will be far away from their home state November 8th, this absentee ballot registration drive will likely increase our campus's voter turnout. The Kennedy Political Union will be hosting former Attorney General Loretta Lynch as this year's All-American Weekend guest speaker. Lynch will speak in Bender Arena October 19th. Doors open at 7:30 p.m. Reserve your tickets and arrive early. I'm Gabby Dell, and that was your Politics Report.
Thanks, Gabby. The DC Metro used to be the nation's second busiest subway, Over the past decade, the Metro has lost 125,000 average daily trips. Despite this drop in riders, the Metro has no permanent plans to work on this issue in the near future. The Metro's general manager, Paul J. Wiedfeld, says their priority is not ridership because there are many factors involved that the Metro cannot control.
Grace Rogers is up next with this week's Lifestyle Report.
Thanks, Shekinah. I'm Grace Rogers with your Lifestyle Report. American University hosted its opening night for DC's new film series, Films Across Borders, Stories of Women. The event featured a pre-screening reception of the 2018 documentary RBG and post-screening discussions with panelists including Washington Post reporter Robert Barnes and RBG co-director Julie Cohen. Over the next 3 months, the film series will showcase over 50 films highlighting the importance of gender-balanced perspectives. Screenings, panels, and audience Q&As will discuss subjects about women in film and about the fight for gender equality on and off the big screen. The School of Communications hosted its 5th annual News Games to celebrate National News Engagement Day. Open to all AU students, the News Games featured Jeopardy-inspired questions based on current events. The winner also earned a $500 cash prize. Journalism schools across the country participated in News Engagement Day celebrations to emphasize the importance of staying up to date on news. Earlier this week, the Kennedy Political Union announced that Parkland students David Hogg, Sam Fuentes, and Jacqueline Corin will join American University's Larissa Gerstel's Critical Literacy and Social Justice Symposium. The 3 students are gun control advocates and survivors of the mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. During the symposium, they will share their thoughts on how their community shaped a national movement and discuss topics including the midterm elections and March for Our Lives. The AU exclusive event will be held in Bender Arena on Tuesday, October 9th at 7 p.m. and is expected to bring large crowds, so get your tickets now. With this week's Lifestyle Report, I'm Grace Rogers.
Thanks, Grace. Did you get your tickets? It's going to be so inspiring.
I definitely did, and KPU has been having such great events. Do you remember last year they brought Malala?
I'm still inspired from her coming to campus.
Yeah. DC community groups, civic organizations, and labor leaders have united to stand up against short-term rental services, like Airbnb in the city. Large corporations and investors are buying homes to use for rental companies, increasing the cost of housing options for DC residents, causing them to feel like they're being pushed out of their homes. A campaign called It's Time DC is encouraging the DC City Council to pass legislation to protect affordable housing.
Let's turn to Olivia Tenari with our sports report.
Thanks, Alexandra. I'm Olivia Tenari with your sports report. American University hosted the Potomac Relay Invitational Swimming and Diving Meet last Friday. AU's women's team placed first, and AU's men's team placed fourth. Last Saturday, AU's cross-country team participated in one of the largest cross-country meets in the country at the Paul Short Run in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. The men's team placed 29th in the gold race, and the women's team placed 30th. On Sunday, the women's soccer team lost to Colgate with a score of 3-1, while the women's volleyball team had a big win against the Naval Academy with a final score of 3-2. For this week's sports report, I'm Olivia Tenari.
Thanks, Olivia. In case it hasn't hit you yet, it is officially midterm exam season. ATV News took to campus to compile tips on how to survive them.
Every semester, midterms bring a plague of stress to students across campus. Ryan Bartow is a junior at AU, and he reflects on what midterm season is like for him.
I would like to think that I'm doing okay. However, midterms are definitely amping up and things are becoming more stressful. I would say more than anything, papers and essays for me are always harder, but even just finding the time and the hours to study while also managing jobs and extracurricular activities are just more difficult, especially during the midterm season. Having multiple assignments due at the same time becomes more stressful and impactful. As we get older, there are more demanding classes that we have to take, more demanding classes for our major, etc.
Sienna Roberts is a peer health educator with HPAC on campus. Sienna talks more about how they can help with midterm season.
HPAC has a peer health educator program where basically there are a bunch of college students that can come and do wellness programming, stress management programs, sex health education, that kind of stuff with any group on campus. During midterms, they often have like coffee breaks, study breaks in HPAC. So that's in Hughes, like on the left side if you go in. And they're always there if you ever want to talk or need like
just a break.
Both students have their own advice to share about how to deal with the midterm stress.
So I think one of the most important lessons I've learned is just to breathe, just to relax, breathe, take a 15-minute break, maybe a 20-minute nap.
Your health matters first. Grades mean nothing except for a number, and you're more than a number.
I can't believe it's midterm season already.
I know. My biggest tip, a little bit every day.
Yeah, definitely. And remember self-care.
Of course, get your face masks.
Well, that's the latest from ATV News. I'm Shekinah Collier.
And I'm Alexandra Sherritt. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at ATV News, and follow us on Instagram at AUATV News. See you next week.